What's going on YouTube? It's that kid Greg, back again with another off-the-cuff video. Today I wanted to talk about what pretty much everyone's talking about right now, that is Pokemon Go, and how friggin' awesome I think it is. Pokemon Go has brought back that sense of wonder that allowed the franchise to blow up in the first place in just a few days. It's taken the world literally by storm. It's almost like reliving the 90s when you heard that like iconic "gotta catch 'em all." Like it's right back. You know, people in the street talking about it, and like people are meeting up, talking, battling, all this type of stuff. And the thing that I wanted to talk about was, a lot of people are saying now, oh, Pokemon Go is so healthy because you can go outside and you can walk, and that's true. But the one thing I wanted to talk about with Pokemon Go, and the reason why I think it's so cool, is it brought back something that I feel like society has been losing lately, and that's human interaction. Strangely enough, the game about capturing fictional creatures in a fictional world has somehow brought people back together. You know, in these past few days that I've been playing this game, because I've been having a blast with it, I have spoken to more complete strangers than I have in probably the last few years. And I think that's so cool. And the thing about it is, like, people, with the explosion of technology over the past decade or two, people have been talking to each other less and less, and everything is digital now, and that's not always a bad thing. I love technology. I'm not going to be the one to say technology is terrible, but human interaction is so important. Like, I remember, like, I'm only 20 years old. I remember as a kid, if I wanted to talk to my friends outside of school, I called them, and I couldn't just call them at any time because I didn't know when their family was having dinner. I didn't know if one of their other family members was using the phone. So we had like set times that we would call each other to just talk or play video games or whatever. And now it's like, and then, like over the past few years, it's like, oh, well, everybody's texting or in a group chat or Snapchat or Facebook or whatever. And, there's nothing wrong with that. It helps bridge very long distances. And it helps, like, keep track of, like, hey, this person's still around. Hey, this person's still doing well. But it lacked that, like, personal touch that you get from, talking to somebody on the phone or going to hang out with them in person. And somehow this silly little game based on a franchise for children has brought that back. People are talking to each other. How often do you go on, like, public transportation, like the subway or the bus, and see random strangers just strike up a conversation? Like, that doesn't happen anymore. And this game, in a matter of a few days, has managed to completely turn that on top of its head. And I don't know how long it's going to last. I know that the game is going to stay around, but the hype is probably not going to last for too much long unless it does something major again down the line. But, it's so cool to see people actually talking to each other again and interacting instead of just looking. Ironically enough, the game that requires you to stand around and look at your phone is the one getting people to talk to each other instead of standing around and looking at their phone. It's so dope. Like, it's so cool. You know what I mean? And it brings up, like, I hope that, like, especially with all the negative stuff that has been going on in the past few weeks, with the shootings and the cops being killed and the unarmed men being killed, like all this shooting and death and murder and all this stuff. Like, we needed something like this. You can tell that people really needed something about this. Something like this, excuse me. Because in a time where like everything in society is so divisive, oh, it's this gang versus that gang. It's racist versus pro black. It's police versus citizen. It's Democrats versus Republicans. In a time that's so divisive, it's so cool to see something just kind of pop up and bring people together, even if it's something as like trivial as friggin' Pokemon. Like it's so wild to me that Pokemon, like this little game franchise of all things, has been able to kind of mend bonds between, because you see people playing and it's everyone. It's not like a select group. It's not like, oh, it's just the nerdy kids, or oh, it's just this type of person. You know, black, white, Hispanic, tall, fat, short, skinny. Everybody's playing this game. Old, young. You see, yeah, like the other day, I had a bunch of young kids riding past me on bikes, yelling, "Oh, I'm about to catch this! I'm about to catch that! Oh, what level are you?" And the group of the kids is so diverse. They had to have been like 12 or 13 at least. And then on today, I seen people at least 30 with their phone out, flicking their finger, trying to catch whatever it is on the screen. And it's just so cool, man. It's so cool to see something come around and take away a little bit of the stress, a little bit of all the stress that's been put on people lately. Because the way you see, like the way that the media and stuff talks about society, everything is always dramatic and stressful and trauma, and oh, this is gonna happen and that's gonna happen. They're coming for your kids. They're coming for your guns. Run, 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 run. And Pokemon has managed to take that and flip it on its head in just a few days. And it's made people go back outside. You know, there's the there's the running gag about the gamer just being somebody who sits in their mom's basement with a controller and eating Doritos and drinking Mountain Dew. And now you see all these people going outside and enjoying themselves and having fun, and how diverse the group of gamers. That's another important thing. How diverse gamers are, because with the past few years, gamers have been painted as all like scary, racist, misogynist white boys for some reason. And there's so many gamers out there, including myself, that aren't scary, misogynistic white boys. I mean, I'm a male. But like, yeah, no, it's so cool to see people being people again, because I feel like that's been lacking. It feels like the more, if it's been feeling like one of the main inspirations behind the gray area is how people have slowly become more and more divided and set in their ways, and it feels like there are robots everywhere, and that they can only see in black and white, and they can only pick one thing over the other thing. And now, like, with this, I mean, I know it's not a fix. It's not going to save the world. It's not going to save society. But I feel like it's helping bring people back together and help people not be so robotic. And, you know, you see how diverse groups of people are. And it helps open up your perspective a little bit, you know? It's just so cool. I keep saying I keep saying that, and it's probably gonna annoy you guys a little bit, but it's so cool to see how much how much something as simple as a game can change people, or at least change how they act. And then another thing I like about this game, I'm gushing about it right now, is the Pokestops, because the Pokestops highlight monuments and landmarks and stuff that you may not have known of in your own city, you know. And I think that's super cool. Like, I'm going around traveling and I'm looking at places that I didn't even realize were recognized beyond our area. Like, we have a rest in peace memorial on a wall. It's like a big mural, and it's really cool. It's been there since I was a kid, and I never realized that anybody outside of my neighborhood knew about this mural. And it's a Pokestop, which is so dope. But I've gushed enough about this game. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And I'd like to thank you for listening. Oh, and one more thing. The marriage part 2 video is on the way. It should drop Thursday. But if it drops a little bit later, it's probably because I wanted to add more things to it. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to cover, and that is why the video was split into 2 parts. So be on the lookout for that, and I will see you guys in the next one. And yeah. Bye.